React Server Components, or RSCs, are faster. Let me prove it to you right now. All right, so here we have two versions of exactly the same application. There's a little bit of styling difference, but one is on Pages and the other is on the app router. And so we can see it's basically just a big list of all of these products, and you can click Add to Cart, and then that adds to cart. Now let's actually try rendering the page from the first time. On the Pages version, that's 54.9 milliseconds to just render the components on the page. Now, I will say I have actually artificially slowed down this machine to kind of exaggerate the performance. It's a pretty good machine. It's like an M2 Max Pro, whatever. So it's pretty good. I've actually gone and tweaked that to a 6x slowdown universally. So they're all slowed down. So it kind of exaggerates that. But imagine like on a commodity machine, you might get numbers like this. All right, so the app router version will do the same thing. We'll refresh, and boom, the initial render time is 25.4 milliseconds, essentially half. So that's great. So let's go over what's happening here and why this is happening. So first off, let's talk about how I'm getting this data. So here is an example of the Pages router and the home route there. I'm using this render time component. The render time component wraps the entire page. So it's the React profiler. If we go over here to render time, the profiler wrapping all of the components of the page. And then down here, we've got a console log, and it gets the actual duration of the render. So that's what we're looking at. Now back over here, we can kind of see how the page is laid out. So there's some HTML, divs, and H1s and whatnot, but the components in here are the cart. And then we iterate through all the products and we create these ShadCN cards. Each one has a cart header, title, so on and so forth. So it's a lot of little component invocations. Now let's think about this visually. So on the left-hand side, we have the app router version of that page, and it only has two client rendering components on it. The first is that render time component, because we want to go and check how fast it renders on the client. And the second is the cart. So I cheated a little bit. The add to carts aren't yet client components. I'll get there. Now in the Pages app, everything is a client component. Everything in the Pages app runs both on the client and on the server. Let's kind of go and break that down visually as well. So the first thing we're going to do on the app router is we're going to render on the server. That's going to give us a VDOM on the server that we then send to the clients. First, we render that out as HTML. We also send along a bundle that has all of the JavaScript for any client components on the page, as well as flight data. So let's go take a look at what flight data is. So if I go over here to the app router version, we can do a view page source. And now actually let's do the same thing for the Pages version. And let's put those two side by side. So the app router is on the left-hand side and the Pages router is on the right-hand side here. We can see that they pretty much generate the same HTML. That's pretty much exactly the same. Okay, cool. Now on the Pages side, we actually get a lump of all the data, and that's the get server-side props data that's going to initialize the page that's running on the client. But on the app router side, you can see, man, this scroll bar is just monster, right? We got all of this stuff here. And this is all flight data. So what is flight data? Well, flight data is a serialized version of the DOM. It takes a snapshot of the DOM and it sends it off to the client. And that's what the client actually uses to initialize the VDOM on the page. So why is that more performant? Why are we sending more bytes to the client in the app router version, but it's still outperforming the Pages router? Interesting question. So the difference is in the hydration paths. Every React server-side rendered application needs to hydrate on the client. So let's go through what happens in JavaScript on the client. First thing we do is boot the application, we get React up and running, and then we start rendering the application. Now in the app router, what we're going to do is take all that flight data and we are going to initialize the VDOM with that flight data. And then only for the client components are we actually going to render those on the client. And if you recall, that's only that profiler as well as the cart. Then we do a reconcile. So we're going to take the VDOM and compare it to the DOM and see if there's any differences between those two things. And if everything works, then there won't be any differences and then we won't need to do any manipulation of the DOM, which comes in really critically as we look at the SPA version of this later on. Let's compare that to the Pages router version. So on the page router version, we do the get server-side props. We go and get the data. Then we render it on the server, just as we did in the app router. We then serialize that VDOM as HTML, send it off to the client. We include the JS that is going to rerun on the client, and also that get server-side props data, as you saw at the bottom of the page. Then on the client, we boot the application. We initialize that application with that get server-side props data. We render the tree completely on the client. We rerun all of those components on the client, which is where that performance hit happens. And then again, we reconcile the VDOM against the DOM. And of course, hopefully, again, there's no differences between those two things. So that's where the performance hit really happens. Going back to our side-by-side comparison, with this as the app router and this as the pages router, the real issue is with all of this green, all of these components need to be rerun, which is a performance overhead. We don't need to do that on the app router because all of these are React server components, which means that once that flight data is sent to the client, it knows that's the VDOM of those components. You don't need to ever run those components. You don't even need to send the code of those components over to the client. But you might be saying to yourself, well, I'm not a fan of server-side rendering, so clearly SPA is going to outperform all of this. Well, let's give that a try. Let's go take a Vite version of the application and compare it to the pages router and the app router version. So bring that in, put that up top, bring up my console log. And again, I'm going to slow this down. So do my performance and I'm going to crank that down 6x, and we will go and rerun our console. And let's take a look. So that took 58 milliseconds, which is slightly worse than what we were seeing with the pages version, which is kind of in the 55 range. So I've seen it jump anywhere between 60 and 70, So let's go take a look at what's actually happening there. So with the Vite React version, what's actually happening is we're sending a blank page to the client along with all the bundle for the JavaScript. In this case, I'm actually giving the SPA a leg up because I'm including all of the JavaScript for the products. It doesn't need to actually go and make that API fetch to go and get the products. The bundle is not that much bigger because of it, but it does make it a lot easier. It can go from booting the application to initially rendering that first VDOM without having to do any kind of loading of data. So what actually happens is, again, all of that hierarchy of components gets run on the client just exactly the same way as it gets done with the pages router. That creates a VDOM. And then when we reconcile that VDOM that we have in memory versus what we actually have on the page, well, we're starting with a blank page. So we don't have any of those nodes that we want to have in the VDOM to render the page. So we've got to go and create all of those nodes. And that's where you get the additional performance issue on a SPA. You get the overhead of rendering all those components on the client, and you also get the overhead of creating all of those DOM nodes from scratch because you don't have them as you did with the initial SSR payload. Okay, but as I said, I cheated on the RSC side. So at this point, the add to cart components are RSCs on the client, which means that if I were to go and close all these out, if I try to hit add to cart, well, nothing happens. So let's fix that. So to build our cart, we're going to use Valtio. Valtio is an external state manager. You could use Redux. You could use Zustand. The nicety of having it as an external state manager is that you can have these leaf nodes out in the tree somewhere, and they don't actually have to share wherever the cart is. It's not context or anything like that. You can just use this add to cart function and then just add an item to the cart. And then over in our cart component, we can use snapshot, again from Valtio, to get the current state of the cart. This Valtio state manager is very similar to like a MobX. All you need to do is just mutate the data in place. In this case, like .push on the cart, and you add an item to it. You can change a value, and it just magically works. So if you're looking around for a great state manager, go check out Valtio. Okay, so let's say I want to actually go and add the cart functionality to our add to cart button. So I'm going to make it a client component. Just going to turn it green. And then I'm going to take that product and pass it to add to cart. So I need to import add to cart. And then I need to do the on click to call that add to cart. Okay. Now we were rendering at about 25 milliseconds before. Obviously there's some error in there. So let's see how we're doing now. So let's go back over here. We'll go in the console again. We'll make sure that our performance is throttled. Anytime you leave this, you lose the throttling. Yay. Let's hit refresh. So it comes in about 26.5 milliseconds, it's about something like 25. So we're adding a little bit to make these components interactive. But I would say overall, incredibly snappy and certainly still much snappier than the Pages router version. I think one of the really important things to realize here is that one of the reasons that it's snappier still is that we are only affecting the leaf nodes. So if I look at what I just did, most of the hierarchy of the page remains as RSCs, and only these leaf nodes are actually client components. Okay, but I have a trick for you. If you really, really want to make sure that these are RSCs still, because you want to get that performance benefit, I've got a hack for you. You probably don't want to use this all the time, but I want to show it to you. So, all right, let's go over here to our Add to Cart button. And I'm going to use a trick from like the HTMX jQuery days. So I'm going to remove use client first, and we'll see what happens, right? So we got this on click on here. What actually happens if I just try this, right? Will this work? Well, no, what's going to happen is very slowly, because we're 6x throttled, we're going to get an error from Next.js that tells us that we can't send this function on click because this is not a client component. And that on click is not a client function. That's actually where the secret sauce comes in here. So the first thing we're going to do on our hack is we're going to take the data from the product and attach it to the button element itself. And to do that, we're going to use data attributes. This is something that really goes all the way back to like the jQuery days. We used to do this all the time in jQuery. And then what we can do is in this event handler, we can look for this product information and then add that to the cart. So to do that, we need a client function. So we need to turn this into use client that acts like an event handler. So it would look like this. It'd be an on add to cart function. It would take an event as opposed to any kind of arbitrary data that we want. It has to be an event because it's going to be an event handler on that element. And it's going to take, in this case, a mouse event, click of an HTML button element. That's how you do that in TypeScript. So the first thing we want to do is extract the data out of those data attributes. To do that, we're going to create an object. That object has a bunch of keys on it, ID, name, description, and price, just exactly the same way as the original product object. And we're going to get all that data from the attributes and get named item. And that's going to give us our data because we've added that to that button element. And then all we need to do from there is just add that new synthetic product to the cart. So now we can go take this on add to cart function, go over to our add to cart button, bring that in. And instead of setting the on click as that, we set the on click as on add to cart. Now let's hit save, try it out. Everything's looking good. We're still getting those same kind of render times, and add to cart now works. Really cool. All right, well, I hope this helps convince you that under the right circumstances, React Server components can be much more performant than a Pages router or a Remix or a Redwood, the kind of traditional render both on the server and the client SSR systems, and also faster than a SPA. And you've got a nice little hack that allows you to maintain some of those components as React Server components to keep that performance benefit going. So let me know in the comments, does this convince you to try out React Server components? Of course, if you like this video, click that like button. If you really like the video, click the subscribe button and click on that bell and be notified the next time a new Blue Collar Coder comes out.